ComicsGate. Hello. Welcome. Hello, ComicsGate. Darin, can you say hello, ComicsGate?
Hello, ComicsGate.
Yeah, it wasn't so hard, was it?
No,
Ask
it
Donnie
wasn't.
Cates that. He'll be stumbling on his ass and saying, I can't say it. Ethan, I got to have a conversation with you. No, we're live, Donnie. You ever seen that one? You ever seen that video with Donnie Cates
I've
on
not.
there?
Oh, Donnie Cates. Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah.
I think I've read. I've read a couple of. I think he did Conan, didn't he?
Oh, he did Venom.
Oh,
And
Venom. That's right, Venom.
he wrote some bunch of other titles and stuff like that. Mainly Venom.
Okay.
That's his main one, I think. But
Okay.
yeah, that was like 5 years ago when he called in Ethan's live stream,
Oh.
and that's when all the SJWs started going off the kilter and started canceling everybody. And then Donnie Cates called Ethan during the middle of a live stream and said, and Ethan goes, Donnie, since you're on, can you say hello, ComicsGate? He goes, I'd like to have a conversation with you. This went on for like 20 minutes. You had Dan Fraga in the background going like this. That's when Dan was cool.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and that's basically since Katie has the Good Morning ComicsGate, I'm thinking, why not Hello ComicsGate? No one has that title yet, so I claim it. Yeah.
So that leaves me with very little to use now. If I start streaming myself, I'll be like, greetings, ComicsGate.
You can do that. Greetings, ComicsGate.
Salutations, ComicsGate. I don't know.
Do that.
Maybe I'll,
Jazz it up a little bit.
We'll see what happens.
Exactly, man.
I would never call Ethan on a stream.
Oh, hell no, I wouldn't either.
That would be.
In fact.
Oh yeah, he on a draw stream, he was talking about how much he hates just being called in general. And I can remember when people hated receiving texts; they preferred phone calls. We have totally flipped on that in 20 years. It's
true.
like don't freaking call me. Now you have my undivided freaking attention. What in the freak do you want? And it's I can't multitask like this. I'm a busy guy. So yeah, he was not happy about that. So
yeah, I hear you. Oh God! And sometimes when you text somebody, like, "Why are you bothering me?"
Yeah. Why are you blowing up my phone? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we've become so antisocial, like the past 20 or 30 years. It's insane.
I remember when people first started noticing that people were staring at their phones. This is. This was like in the aughts, and there was even a public service announcement where a guy was on a picnic date with a fairly attractive girl. He was on his phone, and she was trying to talk to him, and then this guy runs out of the bushes and grabs his phone and throws it into the pond or whatever, and says, "You're missing this," and that is all gone now. That is gone. We have totally succumbed to that technology now. So
we're phone slaves. That's what we've become. Thanks to
man. Sorry, go ahead. I don't even own a smartphone. I'm reaching for my phone right now.
Really?
Just off camera and underneath my. Yeah. You want to know what I use?
What do you use?
Shit. I use a Sonim XP5. Look at this chonker. This has the best feature ever. I can throw it over my shoulder right now, and it could land on concrete, and nothing would happen to it. This is designed for construction workers. It's got great big buttons that are designed for use. If you have work gloves on, you could still type, and it's reinforced, and it even is safe to have around explosive gases because it doesn't. It's intrinsically safe, which means it doesn't generate any heat. So for example, if you're a utility worker working under the street with gas lines, you can still have this phone and not be worried that you're going to blow yourself up. And people are like, why do you have the phone like that? I'm like, because I drop stuff. That's why. It's like I have a friend who was a realtor and he had an iPhone.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. He had a Samsung Galaxy S, whatever the model was back then. Expensive phone, $700 phone. He dropped it in the kitchen and it shattered. He immediately had to go to the store and get another one because he's a realtor and he did all of his work and business on his phone. Taking pictures of properties and loading them up to the websites and things like that. He had to immediately replace it, like within the next hour. And I'm like, I'm never gonna own something that's so incredibly important to my life like that I can drop and shatter. So yeah. I used to demonstrate, to this. They said, "What do you have a phone like that for?" I said, "It has the best feature ever," and I throw it over my shoulder. And they're like, and I'm like, "No, see, it's fine. I could drop this off a 3-story building onto concrete, and nothing would happen to it." Yeah, exactly. So I can't go online with it though. But
Yeah,
the smartphone has ruined arguments that happen in bars now.
that's true. It has.
Yeah, now it
Oh
all
man.
becomes who can bring up the a source to back up your claim the fastest, and then after that, if they both have a source, then it comes down to whose source is better, and it's totally ruined.
And now
Bar life.
and now with AI, right
Mhm.
now you can create your own experience. You're like,
Yeah.
I had a bar fight, and you create your own AI bar fight. And I was in
Right.
this one, and you
Yeah.
have your picture right here, getting beat up or smashing it. You have
Mhm.
yourself smashing someone over the chair,
Yeah.
over the chair and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And you can just create
Any
shit.
fantasy you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
really.
and they're getting better. It's like now you have these ones like I saw one on X the other day where a woman was in her living room and she was obviously like in Montana or something where she had a glass, a window, big glass window, and there was a buffalo charging, in the coming towards her window, and she's like, no, no, and it charges right through the window, knocks over her furniture and stuff. I'm thinking to myself, that could be real. I mean, I could see that happening, but of course, you wait 10 minutes, and then X is like, "This is AI," and then you're like,
Oh
"Oh, good, all
yeah,
right," But I mean, yeah, it's like animals going berserk. That happens. That can happen, and it can be caught
yeah.
on film too. But now it's like, yeah, you don't believe anything initially that you see anymore.
Yeah. Just have to question things that's in front of you. That's not good. It ain't good at all. But you know what? What's really good is DEMI-FOOT. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, DEMI-FOOT. We've been waiting for this project ever since that you have not you reached your goal there last time, and it's like,
Yeah,
wow, what the hell happened? And I was very into this project that you have here, and then when
yeah.
you failed short of it, we're like, oh no, what happened? Like, oh
Well,
man,
I'll,
we're
I'll
hoping you come back, and finally you are back. And
I'll tell
what
you.
happened?
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Okay. So first of all, I'm no stranger to making comics. I made my first comic back in 2005. Clint Linsky was my artist. It was called Hyperactives over at Mike S. Miller's company, Alias Enterprises,
Oh yeah,
and he had yeah, and so that was my break. And Mike gave me my first opportunity. But I could see which way the wind was blowing at the time. There was just too many leftists, and I'd go to conventions with mainstream comic book artists, and we'd be having dinner afterwards, and I'm just sitting there quietly, not engaging in the 2 minutes hate that they would perpetrate on politics, and they could tell that I wasn't a lefty like them just because I wasn't contributing to the 2 minutes hate. So
right.
it became readily obvious that I wasn't going to break in as easily as anybody else would. So I kind of retreated from that. Started, writing other things like prose, fiction, and stuff. I did a series of columns on Bleeding Cool
Oh
about
nice.
about the first one. It was kind of an interesting story. The first one was called "How Liberalism is Hurting Comic Sales," and
Yes.
Rich Johnston put it up. And this was, of course, back in 2011, before we had terms like SJW
Yeah.
or woke or any of that kind of. So the liberalism was the word that I used, and I thought, look, this is what's happening. People are reaching for a comic, they're thumbing through it, they're seeing their favorite character quip something about some left wing propaganda line, and they're putting the comic book back, and the retailer loses that sale. And it's happening more and more, and there's fewer comics that this isn't happening in, and it's getting so bad that even the leftists, the lefty comic book fans, don't want it. Why? Because they already get it everywhere else.
That's
Everybody
true.
needs an escape. Conservatives, believe it or not, need an escape from conservative social topics once in a while too. And because the left politicizes everything, including the weather, we've
Oh
gotten to this
Jesus.
point now where if something is not, in the mind of a leftist, if something is not left wing, meaning and not expressly political, it will by definition be right wing. So the left now says that the 4th of July is an inherently right-wing holiday.
Oh man.
You know, it used to be for everybody. It used to be for everybody who called themselves an American. Now it's just the right who apparently celebrates 4th of July. So that's where we're at now. An interesting thing. I just want to say this here. The when that article went up on Bleeding Cool in 2011, the Newsmax, the news aggregation site, picked it up.
Yeah.
And suddenly. Rich Johnson, was apparently very happy with it, with the new traffic he was getting, and so I wrote 3 more columns, and then all of a sudden he wouldn't return my emails.
Oh.
So I'm thinking that enough people in the know in the industry said, hey, this guy, don't platform this guy at all. I mean, I don't have any proof of this, but I know what happened. It's like people were reading the articles. I had even guys like Ethan and Kurt Busick and Peter David were chiming in. Of course, Peter David was my arch enemy at the time, he's like, this guy's a troll. This guy's a troll. You shouldn't be putting up his columns, and things like that. Not really going over anything that I said, not really arguing with any of the points that I made. Just this guy's a troll. Where have we heard this before, right? And right. And so then. I bowed gracefully out of that Bleeding Cool situation, and I just kind of laid dormant for a while. Made some Christian superhero comics.
Nice.
Along the way at Bethany. Those were for very little kids, and they were only distributed to kids in Christian churches that had a children's program. And at the time, with the Avengers being the biggest thing in movies at the time, it was they thought it would be helpful to have like. A little kid superheroes. We're talking about like Power Pack, if you remember that.
Right.
That comic. Yeah. Very little kids as superheroes, and and we show them praying and stuff like that, and it was fun, but it kind of got me back into the swing of writing comics, and then met John Dillard, and eventually I said, hey, I got this thing in my head that I need you to help me visualize it, and that was DEMI-FOOT, the Urban Sasquatch. So that's where we're at now. So we've got DEMI-FOOT here, and we've got 62 backers, 51 of which will be getting the Dan Lawless 24-hour trading card. They're the heroes who decided to back within the first 24 hours. So we'll see. I might, depending on how, if we meet goal in a timely fashion and surpass goal, depending on how much, I might offer another exclusive card of some kind or something different. I don't know yet. It all depends. But at this point, we still have to get it funded. It's only been up there for now just under a week, and we're at 31%. We need $8,000 to meet goal, and I'm not an artist. I have to. If you ever noticed, campaigns like Mike Barron's campaigns and Von Klaus, when he's not illustrating his comics, they have goals that are higher because we have to pay a page rate to our artists. So that's the reason why it's not a $500 goal, and then we just climb from there. It does need to meet expenses, so that's why it's higher. But why should you? I should probably take a breath here and let you ask a question. Sorry about that.
Yeah, why should we buy DEMI-FOOT?
Why should you buy DEMI-FOOT? Well, first of all, I'm going to take Liam's advice. Liam came on to another stream I was on this morning, a very weird version of Liam that I've never seen before. Extremely happy and positive. It was good to see, actually. So yeah, it was. But he came in and said, you got to sell yourself in addition to your comics. So I'm going to try to sell myself a little bit, and then I'll get right back to DEMI-FOOT. Who is Darin Wagner? Well, there's another Darin Wagner in ComicsGate. He's a guy who streams and makes videos out of a dumpster. Okay, that's not me. He's a younger, better looking, more exuberant version of me. He's me from the mirror universe, as we might say. But I'm a little bit older, as you can see.
That's fine.
And I'm so glad that John's Longbox trimmed his beard, because at first when I appeared on camera, people were like, "Oh my God, it's John's Longbox!"
No!
And oh no! It's like he tricked us, and I'm like, no, I'm not John's Longbox. And then he trimmed his beard, so now we look very different now.
Oh, thank goodness! Wow.
Thank goodness, right? Yeah. But anyway, I'm a graduate of the University of Wisconsin. I'm also a United States I'm a United States Naval submarine veteran, so I was a
Yeah. Yeah,
sonar operator on a submarine.
yes. In fact, you were on my live stream when we had Veterans Day. We had you on
Hmm.
and Doc Blaylock. It was a great show.
Yes, Doc
Very
Blaylock
cool.
also,
Yeah.
F. Corman. But so a lot of that military experience finds its way into my writing just through osmosis, through natural reflex action and things like that. So Demi-Foot here. Demi-Foot's name is Jake Yeager. His situation is he's suffering from a decompression accident while serving as a Navy diver. Jake Yeager undergoes an experimental cure to restore his damaged body. So I'll explain that a little bit. A decompression accident in this case is just a fancy way of saying he got the bends. Now the bends is when you're deep water and then you come up too fast, and nitrogen bubbles form in your bloodstream and in other parts of your body, and they cause damage. You can die from it very easily. In his case, nitrogen bubbles got into his joints and expanded, so his joints are all messed up. He can't move without excruciating pain. Anybody who's ever had joint pain, arthritis or gout or whatever, knows what I'm talking about. And so he's going to be a practical invalid for the rest of his life. So he undergoes an experimental cure to restore his damaged body and now exists as a hybrid, combining the best aspects of both man and Bigfoot, hence the term Demi-Foot.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. So now he has to survive as a monster among men while satisfying his Sasquatch instinct to destroy evil wherever he finds it. The man within the monster had been a freewheeling thrill seeker and heir to a 19th century lumber baron family, but now he's a stealthy behemoth living on the outskirts of society and walking the thin line between our world and an unseen world full of living folklore and super science. So in this debut issue, we learn who he is and what malevolent forces brought him to his new altered state. We follow Jake Yeager as he gets his bearings and prepares for an all-out war on 3 fronts, fighting fellow monsters, supervillains, and the shadowy organization dedicated to keeping the existence of all those things, the stuff of hoaxes and frauds and myth. And so that's what we're dealing with here. We have if you like comic books about man-monster heroes like Swamp Thing, of course, there's going to be some people that'll want to draw, a comparison with the Hulk and other characters, even other monster heroes that aren't big, strong guys like Ghost Rider. They'll be, but that's the kind of thing that we're going for here. This is an old-fashioned monster hero type comic, and you get to go with issue 1. You get to go get in on the ground floor, and so that's why you should back Demi-Foot. The issue that you get is going to be some of the very best artwork from John Dillard, who is famous in ComicsGate for The Buckler, and of course this other comic, Mighty Golden Patriot, which recently came out, and other things as well. Rift Riders, he's done a lot of work for the ComicsGate community.
He has, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's say hello to Subjugate Comics. Hello, hail. Good to see you. All right.
We have a lot of lovely tiers. We're going to be offering a T-shirt and a lunchbox if you're so inclined.
Wow,
the physical tiers.
The lunchbox. Yes, this is something else. What how'd you come up with that idea?
It was just one of these kid things. I remember how kids used to. Every year you might get a new lunchbox. You'd go to Kmart or Shopko or wherever you, and there would be the back to school section, and they'd have the aisle of the lunchbox where you would you would pick yours, and of course
I remember those.
My folks would always get to the store last minute, so I didn't get a cool one like an Incredible Hulk when I had to settle for like Mork and Mindy or something like that. But
I had a friend of mine at school had a Bonanza lunchbox. That was way back then.
That must have been a hand-me-down.
Yeah. And it was all metal and everything. It looked cool.
Oh yeah.
Then it had the Giants lunchbox. I saw that was wow.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. The lunchbox will be metal. And it's intended more, I think, as a display piece than anything else. But it also is a great place for us to pack your T-shirt in and your cards, so it'll serve that function as well. But we've got a number of lovely tiers, including a retailer tier for a special deal on 5 copies, a collector's tier, which is a special deal on 3, so 1 to read, 1 to save and never open again, and another one to sell on eBay if you're so inclined. And then we even have a tier for people who really want to help us out. $500 gets you every physical reward, plus you get a cameo appearance in the comic or your likeness or any likeness you want. So let's say you're a streamer, who is one of those streamers who doesn't put his face on the stream and he has like an avatar instead. We'll put your avatar in there. We'll work with you on this, and we've got three slots for that. So
nice.
This is hearkening back to the days of old, but we're also putting new spins on it. So this is a comic that will feature things that you've never seen before in a comic book, and people ask, yeah, the environment is different. There aren't a lot of superheroes in Wisconsin. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
There's Mike Barron's creation, the Badger. There's the Marvel characters, Great Lakes Avengers, who are not exactly superhero. They're more of a comedic team. And I think we've really come up with something unique here in the comic book space in general. One of the things that you'll notice here is the proliferation of American Motors Corporation cars. Not a lot of kids today even know about AMC. AMC came and went before a lot of them were born. There's a lot of adults my age who don't. Yeah, they actually went away officially in 1987, but I mean they were already pretty much gone by 1985. Yeah. And so because this takes place in a fantasy version of Wisconsin, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we have a lot of cars that are AMC, and of course artists don't particularly like drawing cars, I've noticed, but if they will, if it's interesting enough, and so that's why we have a pacer here. The
pacer getting crushed.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, it's he's actually saving their lives because he lands like right in front of them, and of course they're driving down an alley they're not supposed to be driving in, and so that's what happens there. And the car is salvageable; that will buff out, Okay. But at least I hope it will. And but I mean, the very first image that John Dillard drew of it is this one here, which we're featuring on a jumbo card.
I like. It's
called the jumbo. Yeah, the jumbo Javelin card. And this is DEMI-FOOT ripping the engine out of a 1968 Javelin. Although, it might be a 2022 Javelin, because the whole idea is that in this altered universe, the only real difference is that American Motors Corporation never went away. It actually flourished and became as big as Chrysler. So, oh
wow,
that's the idea. So. Just to give the audience a little visual cue that this isn't quite our reality. It's kind of like in movies and cartoons when they want to indicate that to the audience, they will put usually like an airship. Like, for example, the Batman animated series. As soon as the Warner Brothers logo went away, what was replaced by it was a police Zeppelin, which we don't use Zeppelins anymore. Airships kind of went the way of the dodo, but that tells you that, okay, this isn't exactly our world. And I wanted to do something like that, but I wanted to do something a little more subtle. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of Javelins, Matadors, AMXs, Marlins, all these cars that nobody's heard of, so yeah, if you're a fan of those cars, of course you'll want to read it too. But really the reason why you buy DEMI-FOOT is because you want to see big fights with big hulking dudes, punching each other through brick walls and concrete and
lifting
lots of property damage. Lifting cars.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we look at the cast here. Now this is an image that will be in the comic, and it's meant to hearken to future issues where because the first issue is all about DEMI-FOOT. This isn't a comic that you're going to read through it and not know what the bleep is going on until the last 4 pages. This is a standard 23 to 24 page comic that tells you the origin in a classic style, And I keep making this comparison because it was the last time I read a comic like this. It's not mystery box format like, say, Yaira #1. Right?
Right.
Yaira #1 was full of all these disjointed things, and it's like I still don't know who the fuck this gal is, you know. And then in the last few pages, oh, she's a Viking from an immortal Viking culture thing, and then of course now you know the whole idea of the plot twist, right, is to twist the plot. It's to change your perception of the previous events. Well, what they want you to do is get all the way to the end, find out she's a Viking, and then reread the whole thing so that you understand the context instead of telling the story in order. And I'm like, I don't want to do that to the reader. No. This is the reader needs to know who this guy is right away, and that's how they used to do it, and that's how I'm doing it here. But
this piece of art right here, this reminds me homage to John Byrne's Hulk.
It is. Okay. It's an homage to Incredible Hulk 314 by John Byrne. Where,
I have that issue, by the way.
Yes. So do I. It was an issue that I loved, and then immediately. Okay, so I shouldn't say this. Well, maybe I will anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hot take. Right? Yeah, that issue 314 was great because we had just suffered through about 3 years of Bill Mantlo and Mike Mignola, and Mike Mignola is good art. Mike Mignola, when he was on Hulk, is not the same Mignola that he later became. Yeah. And when I did not like Mike Mignola's artwork until I saw Gotham by Gaslight. And then I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. I kind of like. And then when I saw Hellboy, I'm like, okay, I'm totally on Team Mignola now. If his artwork had looked like that on his Hulk run, different story, right? But they had Bill Mantlo and his artists, including Mignola, had removed Banner's personality from the Hulk, so he literally was a snarling, inarticulate thing, kind of like the Lou Ferrigno version on the TV show. He had no personality; he's just a monster, right? And they moved him to an extra-dimensional place, so he was basically hopping from different realities and stuff. And they did that for like 2 years, and I'm like, get him back on Earth, come on, And John Byrne took over, and he only did 6 issues, but the first thing he did was he put the Hulk back on Earth, and all of a sudden he's talking again, just like the classic version, Hulk, smash, whatever. And the cover, the original cover was the Hulk in this sort of pose, but he was surrounded by his best villains, Abomination, Rhino, Juggernaut, MODOK, all of them, the leader, of course. And I thought, well, let's do that. And of course, that setting for that cover was in the desert. And so we put him in the forest or in a park area. And he's surrounded here by things that he will encounter, including his love interest in the upper right-hand corner there, Heidi Blackhawk. Down below Heidi Blackhawk, you have the Michigan Dogman, which is the Beast of Bray Road kind of character. A Dogman is like a werewolf, except they don't change back and forth. They stay a humanoid wolf the whole time.
Wow.
On the left-hand side, the guy with the horns and the fangs, that's our version of the Rhinelander Hodag. The Hodag is it's not a cryptid. He's actually a creature of folklore. And if you were to look up the Hodag of Rhinelander on Google, you would see a quadrupedal creature with that and ours is quadrupedal, but can also reconfigure his body into a biped so he can fight. We need him to be able to fight these characters. Yeah. And then we have John Dillard's interpretation of a Thunderbird, and that's the pterodon there with the bioelectric aura.
Oh yeah.
So in my part of the country, Thunderbirds are thought of to be more condor-like. In the Southwest, where John's from, though, when you say Thunderbird, people think of a pterodon. So he made it a pterodon, and I'm fine with that. And he will be, fighting Thunderbirds and things like this, but he'll also be encountering bona fide supervillains, government organizations, quasi-government organizations that are trying to keep the existence of creatures like him a secret, and also other superheroes as well. I do plan on eventually, showing you some other superheroes that operate in the same world as the DEMI-FOOT. So.
Right.
So that is the plan. I've got 12 issues planned, and I'd love to be able to do 2, maybe 3 issues a year.
Yeah.
once everything gets going and getting started. So this is everybody's chance to get on the ground floor on this one.
Man, absolutely.
And
we have a question from ComicsGate Comics. He says, "What's Jake's whole motivation after becoming DEMI-FOOT?"
Okay, so when you hear of the man monster hero, right? You're thinking of, and Marvel was exceptional at this idea of this guy once he's transformed, he's like looking at his hands, going, "What have I become?" And he mopes around. There is a little bit of that here, but when you actually meet real people who have gone through drastic physical changes, like an accident where they're now a paraplegic or something, they're like, they're upbeat. They're like, life isn't over. It's just different now. I do the same sort of things I did before. I just do them differently now. And that's kind of his attitude. Plus, Jake, the state he was in before he became DEMI-FOOT was one where he couldn't get out of a chair and walk over to turn the TV on without excruciating pain. So he is at first just thankful he can move. And after that wears off, then he starts noticing, I'm about twice as big as I used to be, and I have to be careful around everything. The whole world's made out of cardboard and marshmallows, and I also look like a freak. People look at me and they run away and stuff like that, and he goes through several different stages of grief and acceptance fairly quickly, because he's an old-fashioned guy. He's like Captain Kirk, when okay, it's time to get back to business. The moping period is over with. I can't do this anymore. It's time to move on with life. And so he's hopefully an inspiration to some people in that regard. But it's funny because we have in the story, when he eventually sees himself for the first time after his transformation, he basically looks like this, and he's got the Kurt Cobain hair, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, he was in the service, and of course he's looking at himself, and he's like, "Oh, that's not so bad. What if I do this?" And he starts cutting and combing his hair, and he gives himself what's called an executive contour haircut. Right. My grandfather was a barber, so I know all about the different men's styles of cutting hair. Yeah, and so Art T. Bear said it best. He says he looks like Sasquatch going in for a job interview. and
right.
And I'm like, that's not a bad descriptor.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, he's he tries to make himself look as normal as he can, and then he looks in the mirror and he still looks like a freak, and he's just like, this is all I can do. I might as well just run with it, But looks like Dot Blaylock's in the chat.
Dot Blaylock, yes. Dogman is his favorite cryptid. Said ComicsGate. Hello, Dog. Yeah. And Mikey Getz, how you doing? Hello, Epics and Darin. Diller killed it on DEMI-FOOT. I can't wait until you get funded this time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, you want to refresh your screen, go ahead. I believe you may have some support.
May have some. Let's see here. We're sitting at 62. Let's go ahead and pretend I know what I'm doing. There we go. Refresh the page, and we're at 63. Thank you very much to that backer.
I did. I backed it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. I'll tell you, people ask me why did your first attempt fail, and I'm like, well, because I'm a novice when it comes to crowdfunding. It's been nothing but a learning experience for me, and I went with Indiegogo because Indiegogo was at the time, early last summer, still the place to go. That's where all the most successful ComicsGate campaigns seem to come from. It was the new hotness, as they say, and I didn't realize that I only had 60 days because I wanted people to feel secure.
Yeah.
So that was an all sort of an all or nothing type of situation where I had to get funded within 60 days, and I thought, well, that shouldn't be a problem. Well, it ended up being one of these things where I had a lot more to learn than I realized. It's almost sort of the Dunning-Kruger effect,
That's true.
So everybody got refunded. This is a little bit different. We're doing this as an open storefront, so we need to get to the goal, and then that's when it'll be we'll start doing the fulfillment and stuff like that. But yeah, at this point, we're trying to get to that goal. We need to get to that goal in order to be able to produce this comic and get to do the comic. And I tell you, John Dillard really wants to do this comic. He he was working on MGP. Over at the Ripasend situation, Yellow Flash's thing, and he was doing his artwork over there, doing a really good job. But then every once in a while, I'd say, hey, you need like a palette cleanser, because I'd love you to do another page of DEMI-FOOT here. And so he's like, oh, so he welcomed the break from drawing Sentai characters, deserts, and Nazi mechs, and got to draw other things here in this. And he does enjoy it. He does enjoy the character design, the things he gets to draw, and so he does really want to do this comic, but we have to get there, and that's why we're here. So
that can actually happen. I mean, this thing can. I want this to be. This will be, in my opinion, be better than MGP. I think he had a lot of trial and error on MGP and pressures, and he had a flood in his house. He had to get all his family out into the backyards and sheltered areas in the backyard. And what a wild, painful year for John Dillard, and that
it was.
He had to get that MGP going at the same time. He wasn't getting paid from Yellow Flash, and it's just more like I get 60%, you get 40%. Well, 40% of what? We don't know if Dillard actually got paid or not, but actually you're not a high profile guy, and you actually paid Dillard, and so that's a big difference. I mean, you're getting through your finances and stuff, so you're admirable to do that, and we thank you for it.
Thank you. Yeah, there was thank you for that. He was it's funny about that whole house disaster thing. A lot of people don't know this about Dillard. He isn't just a dynamite comic book artist. He's not just he's also a truck driver, and he also has mad carpentry and masonry skills. So when that situation with his pipes happened, he didn't.
He got paid.
He did get paid. Yes,
okay, good.
I'm glad that Doc said that, because I didn't want to speak for John Dillard. Dillard does not need me to speak for him. Let me know.
No.
If he did, he wouldn't choose me, because I'm terrible at it. But no, he did in the end get paid, and he is the co-owner of MGP now as well.
That's
but
it
was still a rough year for him. But when he posted the pictures of what happened to his house, I think a lot of people looked at it and said, okay, well, if this happened to me, it'd be more of a disaster than with him, because with him, he's just like, look at all the extra work I get to do now, and converting his gazebo into in his backyard into a makeshift kitchen, and moving all the kitchen appliances into that so they could cook meals, essentially outside in the gazebo. He walled it up, because he lives in the desert. It gets cold at night and stuff. I mean, that was quite the adventure, actually, for him. And I think a lot of people, when they looked at that, are like, "Oh, if that happened to me, I would
crumble, man. I wish I had skills like that, and I've very limited skill set when it comes to that sort of thing.
Right. And he was able to do most. I mean, except for the repair to the pipes, he was able to do most of that
plumbing
by himself, right? And so I mean, but I was happy to. Pay him a page rate for the pages of DEMI-FOOT that we got done during that whole period, and
that's
there's not I don't know that there's a right way or a wrong way to do a comic. I don't know if Eastman and Laird paid themselves a page rate when they created the Ninja Turtles, but it just seems to me that for this kind of a book, the artist should get a page rate. And that's what I'm, and I think I'm biased, of course. I think that his DEMI-FOOT stuff is the best stuff he's ever done. So it's, I am biased. Take that for what it's worth, but other people have said so too. And I think he's just getting better and better the more work he gets. So
I agree. I loved his Buckler stuff too, man. It's really.
Buckler was such a visceral thing, and I'll admit, when I had to read Buckler a couple of times before I got what he was really going for, because there's so many layers to it that aren't not that aren't with the spoken word. I was like, you look at it and you think, okay, he's a superhero. Well, no, he's not a superhero, he's one of those villains that you care about, like Tony Soprano or Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. He's a character like that, and it's once you figure that out, then the buckler opens up into something else. But but no, DEMI-FOOT is he's a man monster, a man who now finds himself a monster and form, and has to make his own way in the world now. And there's this old saying that servicemen get when it comes time for them to leave the service and go back home, the idea that you can never go home again. And for him, obviously, that's very true, but it's not all tragedy. There's triumphs as well, and he's not a Mary Sue character either. He doesn't win every battle. In fact, a lot of people don't know this. Everybody thinks the Hulk was an invincible character. No, the Hulk lost fights.
He did.
And he would sometimes get a rematch and sometimes he wouldn't. And that's why we loved him, was because, just like Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa didn't win every fight either. His first big fight in his first movie, he lost. Spoiler alert. And, right. That just made us root for him more. So, this guy has to earn it. Yeah. He's not like other characters that maybe have come out that are just magically better than everybody else. Yeah. Things like that.
Here's Michael Getz says, Darin, I like you on streams, dude. You're a cool guy despite having you pegged as another dong box at first. Forgive me, lol. It's one of those things. These days I'm sporting this weird sort of Duck Dynasty meets Alan Moore kind of thing, and I didn't always look like that. But yeah, I like it. I through most of my young adult life, I wasn't able to grow facial hair worth a damn until I hit my late 40s, and then all of a sudden, wow, where'd all this come from? And so now I'm just running with it. But oh yeah, man.
But yeah, I was. Hopefully, you can tell by the lack of an Eastern accent that I'm not long box. But
oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Where? Oh yeah, you're from Wisconsin, right? Oh,
I'm from Wisconsin, yes. Okay. And I'll tell you, some people say, well, you don't sound like you're from Wisconsin. I'm like, well, okay, let me talk like my uncles and aunts. I like the small town feeling you get around here, don't you know? That is how I used to talk, and then I got out. I lost that habit, through a couple different experiences, including the service. So, yeah. But that Minnesota nice accent that you hear in Fargo, for example, that's not limited. That's not limited to Minnesota. That actually bleeds over into Wisconsin, and then you have like the Upper Peninsula, the UP as we call it.
Yeah,
they have their own accent, which has a little bit of a Canadian twinge in it. They don't say "a," they say "hey," and so if you can hear that, you're like, okay, is this guy Canadian or is he from Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin? Well, if he says "hey" instead of "a," that's a clue. So,
right.
Yeah.
Smashing. That's wild. Yeah, I was in Wisconsin. I was in Madison during my boot camp days. We're on Liberty over there. They have a good party type town back in like the early 90s. I don't know what it is now. I don't know if it's changed or what, but is it about the same or has it changed drastically?
Well, in very recent years, within the last 10 years or so, young people aren't drinking like they used to.
Yeah.
And so we still have. I live in a community that has a lot of microbreweries in it, and people still go downtown. Yeah. But it's funny because when I was a kid, the most dangerous thing, the number one killer of teenagers and guys in their early 20s was drinking, driving drunk. Now it's driving distracted.
Oh,
yeah. They cut their phones out. They quit drinking and driving, but now they've got these phones that kill them texting while driving and getting killed that way. And so, but no, Wisconsin still has a powerful tavern league. it's still very much a wine, women, and song sort of state.
Yeah.
What Lewis Black said about Wisconsin, about how he can, even with the plane ticket from New York to Wisconsin, he still spends less on liquor in Wisconsin than if he drank in New York. So he's like, how do you know when it's New Year's? And on New Year's we drink with hats on. That idea. But no, the signature things in Wisconsin are the drinking culture still, and also the deer hunting culture.
Right.
That's still a huge cultural event. We have businesses that shut down opening weekend on deer hunting season because so many guys go out there to brag their deer, and all that, and then there's also the fact that we are the home of Harley Davidson. And so there's a lot of Harley Davidson bikers rallies and rides that they do through towns and things like that. So I mean, it's a state that has a very distinct identity, and I'll be bringing that to these pages in addition to showing you a great monster character that throws trucks around and beats on people and other monsters. So it's it's.
Yeah, Mikey says, I had to quit drinking since September. I fucked up my liver pretty good. God help you there. Ahoy, Eternal Piggy. Yes. So we got these two guys. Are they from the government looking for DEMI-FOOT?
Okay, so here is a little something that let's say, for example, you're a longtime listener to websites and podcasts like Sasquatch Chronicles.
Yeah.
There are these, so people who have had sightings and particularly physical encounters, meaning they physically encountered the Sasquatch, like it damaged their car or it physically handled them or whatever. Many of them say that shortly after their experience, they are visited by two guys. Now, one guy looks like your typical G-man, Secret Service agent. The other one looks like a very rough individual, looks like a cast member from like a biker, like a cast member from the movie Stone Cold or something like that. Yeah. And their job is to intimidate you, test your resolve first, and then intimidate you. And what's interesting is that people going all the way back to the Patterson-Gimlin movie, Patterson and Gimlin, talk about these two guys, and even people who had sightings as recent as 2017, like the Ohio Grassman incident, talk about these. So, it can't be the same two guys because, 1968 to 2017, they'd be old men by then. No, same two guys fitting the exact same description. So that's interesting. And we will be. I put those two guys in the comic. That's nice. who you're seeing right here, and we will reveal how it can be them. So there's a lot of stuff here that's going to happen. Again, if you're familiar at all with Bigfoot and the sightings and things, because I think people are seeing something. Let's take a step out of the comic book reality for a moment in the real world. I think that people are seeing something out there. And because it's not just weekend warriors who, you saw a bear. No, we're talking about experienced hunters, woodsmen, and fishermen who know what a bear looks like, and they tell you this is not a bear.
It's a biped.
And same thing with dogmen. When you see, when they talk about these things, they know what a canine looks like. They know what a wolf looks like, or a coyote. They know what it sounds like. This was not that. And this is true today. Even you'll get a particular group of people who just automatically start chiding them and mocking them and saying, whatever, buddy, and that kind of thing. And that's exactly the kind of response that quasi-government organization that those two guys work for want to maintain. They want people to just dismiss it automatically. And but of course, once you're a part of that world, you can't ever leave it. It's kind of like some people who have had Sasquatch encounters will tell you that once you see one, you will never fail to see them again if they come back around,
Oh
because
wow.
there's just something about it. It's almost like you're marked, and or you're touched or tainted, or whatever you want to call it. And so now you can see into that world, and we deal with a lot of different topics in this comic that are tangentially involved with Sasquatch. Right now, Sasquatch Chronicles, Wes Germer over at that website is now focused on tying UFO sightings to Bigfoot, because now we're seeing that when people have Bigfoot sightings, they're also simultaneously seeing UFOs too.
I think there is a
And
connection. Yeah.
yeah, and plenty of
I know
normal
Bigfoot
people.
extreme. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Bigfoot
yeah,
extreme, big time. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, even guys like Billy Tucci, he saw a UFO.
Oh, yeah.
And he talked about it. He talked about it on one of the more recent streams. So I mean, and he wasn't even like when he was in the military. Military people see a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
But his was actually on a commercial flight. It said it came right up to the outside the window and then buzzed off, and it wasn't aerodynamic at all. It looked like it was made out of chrome, and
Oh wow.
it was he described it, and it reminded me of, if you remember that Disney movie from the 80s, Flight of the Navigator, about the little boy that had the spaceship, and the spaceship's
Yeah.
voice was Pee Wee Herman's voice. That's what it kind of, the way he described it, that's what it sounded like to me. It was like this chrome egg-shaped thing.
That's
And,
crazy.
yeah. So,
Have you had any type of super normal experience? Any supernatural experience? Or have you ran into a Bigfoot or UFO?
no, but I
Okay.
have, as I mentioned earlier,
You believe in Bigfoot?
I
Yes, we do.
while on USS Trepang, I was a sonar operator, and particularly when we got to the Pacific, there are things that you hear in the water that don't sound anything like you've heard before.
Yeah.
And they have a there's two different, if it's not a man-made contact like a ship, then it usually falls into two other categories. Biologic, which is an animal of some kind or animals under the water, and there's also one that a seismic event.
Yeah.
Like if you ever saw Hunt for October, the SAPS
Right.
software that the Houston or the Dallas uses, categorized anything it couldn't identify as magma displacement, right? And there's some truth to that. It's usually one of those two other things, because what else could it be, right? But you'll hear things in the water that and it's like that's not a whale, that sounds like nothing else, and it'll give you the creeps.
Oh, I bet.
We heard those in the Pacific more. The Pacific is a very different body of water than the Atlantic is. The
Yeah.
Atlantic is pretty well traveled. The Pacific, though, is deeper and usually calmer. And it reminded me of the Book of Revelation when they talk about Leviathan coming out of the water and stuff like that. I'm like, there is something there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, and you have there was a sound event that happened several years ago. They call it the blurp, I think, where it was this massive sound that came from the Pacific Ocean that sounded biological.
Oh, wow.
And it was recorded by several listening posts and navies and stuff, and the sound, of course, sound travels 4 to 7 times better in water than it does through the air.
Yeah.
Especially seawater, because of the density of seawater. And so I mean, there's weird stuff out there, and some of the best paranormal stories come from servicemen who go to different places.
I've had my first experience in the water when I was in the Navy. I was on the aircraft carrier Nimitz, and it was at night, the dark of night. And anything is so dark, and I noticed the water was lighting up like anything on both sides of the ship. That's my first experience of bioluminescence. I thought that was something else, man. It's almost like a UFO event, but not really. It's biological. It's natural.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have people that can come up with some sort of explanation, but their explanation doesn't cover everything, and so we really don't know. That's the thing. And of course, when we don't know, it becomes fertile ground for the imagination, and that's where a lot of people, in the absence of any facts that can explain something, they'll rely on speculation and imagination.
Subject guest says,
okay.
will DEMI-FOOT story make it to deep sea cryptids?
Not deep sea cryptids. There is a monster that he will be encountering fairly quickly called Peppy. She is the monster of Lake Pepin, which is a lake that is in between Minnesota and Wisconsin. That's an actual monster that's on the billboard signs in Lake Pepin and everything. If you were to go there, and what's interesting about Lake Pepin though is that they found shark teeth in that lake. And there have been people who have experienced shark attacks. Apparently, when Hurricane Katrina happened, and the bull sharks swam their way up the Mississippi River and got into that lake, and there was a story about a Coca-Cola truck that slid off a bridge that was going over that lake, and they waited until spring and sent divers to try to rig it so they could retrieve the truck and get it out of the lake, and there were bull sharks there. Now, bull sharks have a rectal feature that enables them to retain salinity in freshwater habitats. So because they need salt, they need a certain amount of salt and pH balance in their bodies, and they don't get that if they're circulating freshwater through. They're designed more for salt water, but they're able to survive for prolonged periods in fresh water. So that helped sort of feed the Peppy legend. It's like, okay, this is a lake where weird shit can happen, and they found shark teeth on the shoreline and in the streams that feed out of that lake. So and so our version, in fact, of Peppy for right now. This thing right here, if people think it's an alligator, but this was an early design for it. And so it'll be something different. It's not going to be one of those aquatic long-necked dinosaur with flippers kind of thing like Nessie over at Loch Ness. We're going to design something a little bit more local, a little bit more horrifying. And this was an early concept sketch that John did that we're
looking at his hand. Go down a bit. Looking at this supposed crocodile's hand, it looks like more of a human hand than it does a crocodile.
Yeah. Well, it's funny now. Crocodiles are either crocodiles or alligators now are pretending to be human beings. They'll stick their legs up out of the water to make a swimmer or somebody think that there's a human being drowning.
Yeah,
and that attracts humans. That you'll see footage of this if you go on YouTube and such, where it's like, oh, those cunning little fuckers. They're actually setting a trap for people because they want to eat them. Yeah. And but we this is not a final design or anything, but this was something that like what we were going for. So the final design for Peppy will not look like this, but it'll probably be at least in some ways similar.
Nice. So, Doc says we're all sailors, so we've been to cryptids. So we've seen cryptids. We call them bosuns.
Bosuns, yeah.
Bosuns. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there's two spellings for bosuns. He's got the more phonetic one. The other one looks like boatswain.
Yeah, and bosuns. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Deck apes.
Boatswain mates.
Call them.
Boatswain's mates. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they handled the anchors and all. Yeah.
The most. Yeah. Some people call them the truest of sailors in the Navy.
Those guys they're hardcore.
It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, it's true.
I always wanted their pipe. Their little pipe that they have. They'll have like a pipe around their neck that they blow into. That
Oh, right.
That sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like we didn't have anything like that on the submarine. There were no such things as bosuns mates on submarines.
They speak in whistles and grunts.
Grunts. That's right.
Yeah. It's true, Doc.
One of my two company commanders in Navy basic training was a bosun's mate. You could tell by looking at him which one. One was an Airedale, one was a bosun's mate. You could tell which one was the bosun's mate. He looked like the Undertaker from WWF with short hair. Yeah. He was a tall guy.
Big old dudes. They own
Yeah,
themselves.
he was definitely the scarier of the two.
We're scarier. That's a bosun's mate, man.
Yeah. The Airedale was just an asshole, but that bosun's mate, was a different story.
If you get some new recruits there, ask them to go to the bosun's area and ask for a bosun's punch.
Yeah, I've heard. We had something similar on the submarines. You'd ask for a machinist's punch.
Yeah. Punch you on the arm.
I fell for it. So
that's crazy. Anyway, guys, gals out there watching, support DEMI-FOOT. It looks like a great book. I did today. You can too. It's you're helping out the campaign, and you'll enjoy the story. You enjoy the artwork, and you guys have put quite a bit of time into it. I could tell.
Yeah. There's a very well thought out, and you have to when you create a comic book, it sometimes helps to create more than what you will see on the page, just to make sure there's consistency. But quick question for you, Apex: do you recognize the shorts that he's wearing?
Let me look here. Some kind of wild looking belt.
Okay. Sure. Well, what he's wearing are Navy issue UDT diver shorts. Khaki shorts.
Yeah.
That the
Okay.
Guys, yeah. So he's those shorts. We needed something. Okay. So full disclosure here. Those of you who know comic book monsters, you probably have heard of the Hulk, and you've also heard of Marvel Comics has their own character called Sasquatch. He was a member of Alpha Flight, right?
Yeah.
And I loved the character, but the one thing about the character I just didn't like was he would wear in human form these orange shorts, but then as he changed into Sasquatch, the shorts were unstable molecules or something, and they would sort of disappear as his body hair covered him. And so when he turned into Sasquatch, he was essentially naked, and he had like this loincloth of hair from his belly that would hang down over his dangling unmentionables.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't like that. I know that, and so I thought, I need to put shorts on my guy. They have to be prominent. I want to make sure that everybody knows that he's covered. Yes, the two Jakes will be appearing eventually. A Tale of Two Jakes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember when I was in the Navy, we had as I mentioned, a couple divers on board, and they would, have these UDT diving shorts. Anybody in the Navy can buy them and wear them, but this was their uniform when they were doing underwater operations if it was warm enough. So, and they're fantastic because they're very expensive. They're high quality, and they dry quickly. That's another thing about them. And I just thought, I need this guy. This guy was a Navy frogman, so. When he changes, he's still wearing his UDT shorts underneath his clothes because he just got out of the Navy like 24 hours before this comic book begins.
Yeah.
And he's a lot of guys will wear them just underneath their pants anyway. They have to treat it because obviously his body is expanding, and so he ends up wearing these shorts. And I needed something that was sort of a natural color, and the khaki shorts were an obvious choice. But my guy definitely needs to be covered up because
the khaki with the gray really just complements it.
Yeah,
the color. Yeah.
He's a three color costume essentially with if you count
brown
the skin.
Fur. Yeah, with
brown fur.
Feet and arms.
Slate gray skin, and actually his whole body is covered with fur. It's just it's thinner where it's gray. And that's one of the things that it's kind of like, Nightcrawler in X-Men, right? He's supposed to be covered with indigo fur, but it doesn't necessarily look like that with comic book shorthand. It looks like he's got indigo colored skin. But when you would read things, it's a very thin, almost like felt-like layer of fur.
Yeah,
and he's got virtually the same thing. So you can't really tell where the thin fur ends and the skin begins. But that's again this fur of his is what helps him stay stealthed. We go through the explanation of why he looks blurry on photos and things like that.
Oh
Just like
yeah.
real, yeah, he's able to hide, and of course the place that he's able to hide the best is in the city park because of that's a natural environment. And so, in the beginning of the comic, we have him being chased by police, and as soon as he makes it to the park, they can't find him. He disappears as soon as he enters the park. So it's one of those things where we play around. Again, he's a human being that has the powers of a Sasquatch. So that's where we're going.
Oh man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So yes, we have a number of lovely tiers. It looks like the most popular ones. I know that John Malin in particular thought that the T-shirt tier was probably the best because it's only $20 extra for the T-shirt. My T-shirts are made by a guy that I do business with locally. So
sweet.
So yeah, I can get high quality T-shirts made and add them to the tier. And of course, the lunchbox is there. Got 4 backers who got the lunchbox, but then we got 6 backers who got the immortalization tier, which means they'll get everything, including the T-shirt and the lunchbox as well.
Wow.
Yep. And the $500 tier, which gives you a cameo, everything else. That no one's taken that yet, but we'll see. There might be somebody out there who
Could be some big spenders
really wants
out
to help
there
us out.
on the
Yeah,
interwebs.
that can happen. Yeah, we're everybody's going to start getting their tax returns here soon, and
Woo!
but I mean, even if you just went with the $15 entry level tier. Look, that's the cost of a Whopper combo at Burger King in most
You're
parts of the
right.
United States. So I mean, yeah, for the cost of a Whopper combo, you can back this project. Yeah, and you'll get a great 24-page comic full of the best artwork John Dillard has done so far, maybe ever. And then you'll have backed us, and you'll have that entry level starting point into what hopefully will be a long series of adventures that you'll be able to enjoy, and we're wanting to give it to you, but we need your support. So.
Yeah, looking forward to this too, man. That'll be really cool, man. Have you guys ever considered a cover with using this image, or is it going to be a print? Or
okay, so this was. I had John do this, and I thought, this might be a good cover for the first issue, but then I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to do an homage to the Incredible Hulk as this character's first issue cover, and so I know that a lot of creators, especially artists in ComicsGate, really like the multiple cover thing, and so I said,
you have a trading card that Doc did for you. Do you have that?
Yes. We have not. Yeah. Let me go ahead and bring that up. But getting back to that, though, the homage cover.
Yeah.
That's okay. The homage cover I decided not to go with for the issue just because of that, and so that's when I said, John, John Dillard, some of my favorite covers are of a superhero struggling against something, like they're lifting something or they're being crushed by something. I want something like that, and we came up with the semi truck.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
And I think that is the best way to go for the first issue. It's just one cover too. We're not going to do multiple covers. Now, if we get even when we get to issue 2, we'll maybe go into different covers. But yes, Doc Blaylock did a card for me, and let me go ahead and bring that up here.
So it goes. I couldn't pass on the Lawless card. Yeah, you guys got 24-hour Dan Lawless card if you guys backed it 24 hours.
Yeah. I'll show you the Lawless card too, but this is the one that Doc Blaylock did for me, and
it
is very good.
That's cool.
It's done in his Jake Bishop type style.
Yeah,
and he got all the elements right as far as the cityscape in the back plus the tree, and of course Doc's got that great retro look to his artwork, and when you get in a lot of things, so the star twinkles are very nightclubish. I like that a lot, and then of course you got the great big moon behind him. But man. Let's see if I have again this. I hesitate to show the Dan Lawless card because it isn't available anymore. But
right, yeah,
but just to show you what you've missed if you didn't back it within the first 24 hours. This is what he did. There we are.
Let's see. Hold on. shopping while at work.
Blaylock
Hey,
is
Marcus is going to be on Rex Hex and Apex this Saturday, by the way, if you guys catch our show on my channel this Saturday at 10 a.m. Central or 11 a.m. Eastern. So thanks
hey,
for coming
Marcus.
in. Marcus, yeah. Hey, Marcus. Answer here. Okay, let me go ahead and show this. Okay, here's the Dan Wallace. Yeah.
Now, Doc says Darin is ashamed of my card. I am not ashamed of your card.
No, how do
I am
you say
not
that,
ashamed
Doc?
of your card. I'm I'm trying to find a place for it. I want to include it in the campaign. I just haven't figured that out yet. But this was the Dan Lawless card. And yeah, it's he made the character his own in this, much the way same way Doc did. And yeah, so there's 51 people who are going to get this card. And
sweet.
And so that'll be part of their package. So
yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Wow, and let me stretch a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Woo! Yeah. What a morning! What a morning! But you know what? I suppose when I heard DEMI-FOOT coming out, I'm thinking, well, DEMI-FOOT, that's a bit different. I wonder if he may look. Hold on. Let me see if I can find something. If he might. Oh, hold on. This is not it. Is that it? No. Oh yeah. Could he look almost like? Oh geez. Could he look almost like? Like hold on. Like this guy?
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Is that DEMI-FOOT? Oh my God!
No,
Could he be
nope, that is Bigfoot.
It's 50.
Nope, that's. This was one of those primal childhood memories. Sid and Marty Krofft. And what was funny was when I was a little kid, primal childhood memories, right? I remember Lee Majors, Steve Austin fighting a Sasquatch in the California wilderness, and it turning out to be a robot. And then shortly after that, this came out, and it was basically because Bigfoot was huge in the 70s.
Yes,
it was. Yeah. There was two pop culture waves that happened in the 70s. In the earlier 70s, it was when the Patterson-Gimlin footage came out, and everybody, the Legend of Boggy Creek documentary came out.
Yeah,
Bigfoot was everywhere, and then a little bit later, after Jaws came out, suddenly everything had a shark in it. Right. So Lee Majors, $6 million man, fought Bigfoot, and then after 1976 they had an episode called Sharks, $6 million man versus a great white shark. And that's what happens when you have these cultural phenomena based on a public domain concept, right? It's kind of like after the Jurassic Park movie came out, suddenly you started seeing raptors in everything. Raptors were in video games, comic books. They were Steven Spielberg basically gave us, and Michael Crichton gave us, a new monster that we could have, that anybody could use, right? Because of that movie and how dangerous they were. Same thing with Bigfoot, man. And yeah, that Sid and Marty Krofft, Bigfoot and Wild Boy, they were kind of like they were kind of like the Adam West, Burt Ward of the forest. They were like Batman and Robin. Yeah, and
all they did was run and jump. That's all they did. And it's the same cycle of music. And Tasted after by rednecks want to capture Bigfoot with a rope.
Yeah.
Good luck on that.
And only Wild Boy, who supposedly was raised by Bigfoot, only he talked. Bigfoot didn't talk. He growled and then kind of like Chewbacca, where Han would know what he was saying. Wild Boy would say, "Okay, well, Bigfoot's going to lift this rock over here." He had
and as a kid, ability, but he also spoke kind of an Indian type language.
I think they later let him talk a little bit, but and as a kid, I thought because like a lot of little kids, I thought that Bigfoot was one monster, like the Loch Ness monster, right? I thought that so this is the same Bigfoot that the same robot Bigfoot from $6 Million Man, and so the little kids, they get ideas in their head because they don't know everything. And but yeah, I remember Bigfoot and Wild Boy. They didn't have did they have a vehicle? I can't remember if they had a vehicle like a dune buggy or something, or an all-terrain vehicle they would ride together.
I think they had a friend that's a Mexican girl that drives them a few places in a station wagon, I guess. A 70s station wagon. So yeah. No, they had a ride if they needed one, but
yeah, those live action Saturday morning shows like that one and Electra Girl and Dinah and Electra Woman and Dinah Girl and
Deidre Hall,
Jason of Star Command.
Yeah, from Days of Our Lives. That was her show back before she was on that soap opera. But
$6 million Man was probably the science fiction franchise of that decade.
That's
I mean,
great.
They had one spinoff and
Bionic Woman.
So
that one, I think $6 million went for, I believe, 4 seasons. I think Bionic Woman, did she make it like 5 seasons in a way?
Yeah,
sort of.
I think that it's very weird because towards the end there, Bionic Woman had higher ratings than $6 Million Man, and that was right around the time that Lee Majors grew that shitty mustache, you know.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, that's during the Pinbot episodes.
The fuck are you doing? Shave that shit off, you know. And then you had this really weird thing where $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman were on ABC initially, but then
I noticed that.
ABC canceled Bionic Woman, but then NBC picked it up, and so you had stories that began on one network and concluded on another.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It was very weird.
One season, I think it was 81 when they picked up Bionic Woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like one season.
And,
yeah.
Lindsay Wagner. No relation, at least that I can state. But yeah, it was. We had Steve Austin, Jamie Winters, and Summers and Wonder Woman. Good times.
Those were good times, Doc. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. In fact, I have a Time magazine that I've saved. It actually was purchased by my folks, but it has the Charlie's Angels on the cover.
Oh yeah.
First season Charlie's Angels with Farrah, and it had an article all about TV's super women, and it had interviews with Jamie with Jamie Summers with
Lindsay Wagner,
Lindsay and Angie Dickinson. She had a show called Policewoman, but what's funny was they were being promoted as these feminist shows back then, but today people call that jiggle TV because really, we know why they were there. They were not there to push an agenda. They were there.
Candy. Come on.
Yeah, the ever sought after male gaze, which should be sought after once again, I would think.
I think so too. Make the world a better place, like we had. We could do it again. Yeah. Very cool. Back then, all you had, I was talking to Doc about this actually. That back then, today we want curves, right? We want curves, but back then you just had to have a pretty face and just not be fat. Yeah, and Farrah Fawcett, beautiful face, beautiful hair, not fat. That was her thing. And now you need to have a badonkadonk. You need to have, boobs.
You need to have Sweeney sized, push them out there, get them out there, get people looking at them, that kind of thing. And it was a little bit different back then, but yeah,
it sure was. Look back on that, it's pretty wild. But I'm kind of intrigued by this. I've never seen this He-Man trailer. Let's see what that's going on. This He-Man trailer. Masters of the Universe? It's Masters. Okay. Yeah,
it's Masters of the Universe, and that was, I'm a snob when it comes to He-Man because I got the action figures when they first came out in 81. The Filmation cartoon didn't come out until 83. So for the first 2 years, the only He-Man narrative you got was the little storybooks that came with the action figures.
I noticed that.
And He-Man was a very different character in those books. If you're gonna play the trailer, go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna play a little bit. Let's see what's going on. All right.
This is the short one.
Not long ago, when times were simpler, this was a healthy breakfast. This was a powerful workout. And this was a hero. Perhaps now more than ever, we need that kind of hero again.
Yeah, okay.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
That was
Healthy
yesterday.
breakfast. A workout. Remember the 20-minute workout?
Oh yeah, the Jane Fonda low impact workout,
Yeah,
where basically,
impact,
you would,
spandex and all that.
My mom had that video. I tried to watch it once. It was unbearable.
Yeah. That was the big craze in the early 80s.
Yeah. Or, and I'm like, Ma, if you buy, Richard Simmons Sweating to the Oldies, I will disown you.
Come on, let's go. Sweat it to the oldies. All right, no thanks. Stop
Oh
it.
man, I remember my dad
So free.
watching a commercial that had Richard Simmons, his Deal-A-Meal gimmick, where the idea was that it came with a wallet with cards on it, and then every time you eat something that's on the card, you move it to the other side of the wallet, and then when you have no cards left on the left side, you're done for the day. And my dad's like, "Well, who the hell would buy that? What a gimmick!" And then I told him, Mom's got a Deal-A-Meal in the dresser drawer over there. He goes, he goes, she does not. And he walks over there, and there it is. And he's like, and he's just like, he had that "when will the hurting stop" look on his face, and so, I can't believe you spent your money on that.
Right. You could have made those deck of cards yourself. What the
hell? I know. It's like, you got a photocopier. You could find somebody else who has the cards, photocopy them with the photocopier in your office, and there you go.
That's your deal
but
cards.
Yeah. But yeah, now I wonder if she even still has it, or if she threw them away. But because I wonder if the Deal-A-Meal would actually like sell for anything on eBay as a nostalgia thing. But
like a little collectible nostalgia item, maybe not. Maybe like $5.
Yeah, I knew a guy who had the original Pet Rock kit, right?
Oh no.
And from the 70s, where it was actually, what you were actually buying was a book, a comedic book on how to take care of your pet rock, and it came with,
I remember
obviously,
that.
a pet. Yeah, it came with a pet rock and in a little animal carrier. Mm-hmm. But what you were really paying for was the book. The other stuff was just the flourish around the book. And I think he sold it for like $200. Somebody
wow.
wanted. Yeah, because somebody wanted to have that for some sort of collection, and because it was such a memorable gimmick.
Yeah. And sometimes you can rake in the dough for somebody who really wants that gimmick. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And guys, if you want to support my channel, I've got a coffee account there. It's at the bottom of the screen. Much appreciated. It will really help out with the channel and get more guests on here in the future shows, just like Darin. And thanks, Darin, for coming in today and entertaining us with your stories. Really, really fun stories, man. And going back, way back in the 70s and stuff. Man, very cool.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh, man. So I'm going ahead and let me go ahead and bring up my campaign, Fembat Volume 1 real quick. Sure. I'm finding my comic, and she is looking good so far. She's let me see.
I really like the Fembat design.
You
had a Dan Lawless illustration of her too, didn't you?
I do. In fact, yes,
okay.
Yes, indeed. Let me go and share that real quick, and here we go. And she is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Fembat Volume 1. Yep, found my comic. 53 backers, 23.41 and 75 cents. 56 pages of pulse pounding action. There's the Dan Lawless. It'd be a trading card, but I decided, why not a cover? And so,
right, why not?
Yeah, and people started buying the Dan Lawless cover. I was like, thank you, Dan Lawless. God bless you. And
so I have to ask this. Her attire, particularly on her chest, is there any? Is that just a stylistic choice, like when Madonna wore the cones, or are those like part of a weapon system that I'm not familiar with?
It's actually a weapon system. I was not
Okay. Well, I
thinking
don't
of
want.
Madonna's cones. I got them from
Okay.
Valkyrie, the
Okay.
character from the Defenders. That's the basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to be delicate and ask that question. I don't want you to give anything away because I do want to find out more about that
Droppings. Ah,
that
hey, Mike.
outfit.
Good to see you. Yeah. There you go. Thanks for reminding Mike Walter. Yeah, right. Sunday. Yeah, I will
Yeah.
be on Mike Walters' mic stand on Sunday, coming up around 7 o'clock Central. He has a Golden Age. We read Golden Age stories, Golden Age comics there, and currently from 1940. And so catch me on there for the mic stand on Mike Walters' channel. So thanks for coming in, Mike. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that actually you'll find out in the first issue when you back it today or tomorrow, whenever. We also got the Fembat book and T-shirt tier for $50. Not bad. And there's a poster right here by Anthony Sika. That's in the Ultra tier coming up.
Yeah.
And there's Omer.
Yeah, it's a great. It's a great design because you won't confuse it. You won't confuse her with any other bat themed character. That's especially, but yet, it's hard to do. It's really hard to do right now.
It is. I'm sorry, I can't put a bat insignia on her chest. I might get sued by DC. No. So I'm saying, why not some big armored boob plates? I mean, no one's done that. I'll do it. I'll claim that one. We got some wild characters here. We got some wonderful fan art. Marcus Kelligrew, of course, right here. Here's the Ultra tier right here. You get it for $190. That's a $300 value. You get all 3 T-shirts designs. You get all 4 of the Fembat covers. You get a Dan Lawless variant cover, of course, a Moonlight variant cover, sketch cover, a bookmark, a black and white 5x7 original sketch, 2 color prints, 11x17 poster by Anthony Sika, a bonus Ashcan book, and an Enforcer Inc. for this Devastator mini comic. I'm actually drawing 2 comics. I'm finished with the Fembat book. I'm still currently working on Enforcer Inc. I've got maybe a couple more pages left and some coloring to do on that one. That's why it's taking a bit long to get it out. So I had to push it back to maybe late summer when hopefully I can fulfill by that time. But God willing, I can. Plus, I have a commission comic book to work on as well. So I'll be very busy in 2026. I actually get paid for this comic that I'm about to do. So that's thrilling. And so, yeah, I'll let you guys know in the future what it is, if it's okay with the owner of the book. It's going to be like a 28-page floppy, but it's going to be really cool. And we're trying to reach the $2,500 goal. The Fembat fan art collage poster. It'll be all the fan art on a big 11x17 poster. And if we reach 3,000, everyone gets the Fembat trading card, the Dawn Fembat trading card, which is the blood-soaked Fembat, like right here. That's the trading card right there. Yeah. And we got art by Carrie Gothic Angel right here. Nice booty on that one. So there you go. We're gonna go ahead end the show with the Fembat. Oh wait, we didn't actually play your trailer. Oh damn it! Yeah, let's go play. I want to play since you're the guest. We'll go play your trailer if you want.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I have a different trailer for when I'm on streams, just because the music in the trailer that's embedded on From My Comic has had some issues on YouTube. So you can play it fine. There's music in it that from my subscription to immediate music. So I've been using this other one that's much safer. So it has actually, some people think it's better. So let me go ahead and get that going for us.
Yeah.
And all right, sharing now.
All right, good. Let's play this trailer. This is. Oh wait, it's dark. Yeah.
911. What are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something. It looks like a man. I don't know what it was. Just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it. But whatever it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now, and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
Dio!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right...
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Oh, and the guy is on foot.
I don't know what... It's a big, real big person. That's all I can say.
Okay, but it is a person.
Yeah, I'd say it was a person, somebody really big. But he's all in black.
Is he a black male or a white male? Did you actually see whether, or was he just wearing black?
He's all black and he's big. He is big.
Well, it's not coming very soon anymore. It's here. So
It's here, man.
It's
It's here.
Beckett.
It's all right. Beckett,
All right.
definitely. I'm going to share mine. We're going to close out with a FemBat video, or trailer, should I say. I'm going to say thanks for everyone showing up this morning. Thank you, Darin, again, for coming on here. You know, glad to help you out. Your campaign is
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
It looks really
Thank
cool. I think everyone should back DEMI-FOOT. It'll be quite a marvel for CG, definitely. And we'll go ahead and play this thing here.